Here it is, Cinderella. The mice saved the day. Cinderella imagined herself dancing at the royal ball as she held her mother's old dress against her. It needed a few alterations, but they wouldn't be difficult, if only she could find the time to do them. Cinderella, yelled her stepmother and stepsisters again. They were getting ready for the ball, and they wouldn't give Cinderella a moment's peace. I guess my dress will have to wait, the poor girl sighed. As she left the room, Jack, one of Cinderella's favorite mouse, Jake. Know what? Cinderella not go to the ball? The other mice looked at him startled. Work, 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 he explained with disgust. She never get dressed done. Cinderella's animal friends decided to surprise her by fixing the dress. After all, she had been caring for them for years. Just that day, she had rescued poor Gus from a mouse trap. Then she had dressed him, fed him, and protected him from her stepmother's mean cat. So together with the birds, her attic family lifted ribbons and scissors and sewing needles to help make Cinderella's dress come true. Oh, thank you so much, the beautiful girl explained when she saw what her friends had done for her. The birds and mice were overjoyed to see Cinderella so happy. She deserved to have a special evening, never complaining for all she had to endure from her stepsisters and stepmother. Cinderella still hoped that one day she would find true happiness. However, it was not long before her stepmother and stepsisters took hope away from her too, tearing her beautiful dress to shreds. They left her alone, sobbing in the garden. There, there, soothed a new voice, Cinderella's fairy. Godmother magically appeared. Dry your tears, she said. You can't go to the ball looking like that. Cinderella started to explain that she wasn't going to the ball, but her fairy godmother wouldn't hear of it. Waving her magic wand, she turned a pumpkin into a magnificent coach. Cinderella and her animal friends stared at the image in amazement. Bibbidi-boppidi-boo, said the fairy godmother. Soon 4 of the mice, including Gus and Jake, were turned into proud horses. As for Cinderella, her new gown shimmered like diamonds. She stood staring at her image in the fountain with disbelief. It's more than I ever hoped for, she declared, her eyes sparkling. When she arrived at the palace, Cinderella was swept into a dream world. As she and the prince whirled around the dance floor, everybody turned to stare at the beautiful girl who had caught the prince's eye. Who is she? They asked. She must be a princess. None could have imagined that earlier that day she had been dressed in rags. Never had Cinderella known such happiness. As the handsome young prince bowed before her, she felt her heart pounding. They danced together in the castle garden, swept up in the splendor of the evening. Gazing into her eyes, the prince leaned to kiss her just as the clock struck 12. When she heard the bell toll, Cinderella remembered her fairy godmother warning that the spell would be broken at midnight. She raced down the grand staircase, leaving behind one of her dainty glass slippers. The next day, doing her chores again, the young girl hummed dreamily, realizing that Cinderella was the princess's mysterious love. Her stepmother mercilessly locked her in her attic room. No, please let me out, cried Cinderella. She knew that the Grand Duke was trying the glass slipper on every maiden in the kingdom. He would be here soon. We've just got to get that key, Jake told Gus. Despite the danger, they pulled the key out of the stepmother's pocket, then pushed and pulled it up the long staircase. With the last burst of energy, Cinderella's exhausted little friends were finally able to slip the key into her locked door. "Oh, thank you," she cried, hurrying down the steps. Cinderella heard a crash. The slipper she had left behind was broken. Pulling the other slipper out of her pocket, she called to the Grand Duke, "May I try this one on?" The perfect fit proved that Cinderella was indeed the young woman who had won the princess's heart. Jake and Gus cheered happily for their beautiful friend, Cinderella, as they watched her dreams come true.